Welcome to Content Chaos with George and Call, a weekly podcast diving straight into meaningful conversations about navigating modern life. Using their weekly review framework, they explore personal growth, professional insights, and cultural observations. No fluff, just authentic dialogue that transforms chaos into clarity.
Hello, hello.
Hello, here we are, episode 49.
49 and feeling fine.
That's right.
A rainy day in August in New Providence, New Jersey.
Yeah, but that's okay.
We were ambitious to think we were going to actually record one of these when we were on vacation.
Yeah, it just, I wasn't feeling it.
I wasn't either. And we were both low-key working anyway, so it was just like too much computer time.
Yeah.
So let's start off, as we always do, asking what went well over the past week.
Well, obviously the vacation is very centered on that for last week. That's where we were, the Outer Banks. I think it was a great week. We ended up with amazing weather. While I was there or getting down there once we were there and then the trip home, it's like, I know I felt this before, but this year, like the whole process of getting ready for vacation and then heading down there and getting back, like the literal packing up and everything. Like this year, I think I said this to you on the beach one day, like we didn't even talk about it before the day of, like we've got it on lock. And, that was nice. And it was a good vacation in the sense that I would say low key working, but I was unplugged enough to make it today was a foggy start to coming back, which is good. I was unplugged. I really only looked at stuff early in the morning before anybody else was up, or that pretty much that was the case, or at the end of the night, when everybody was heading to bed or whatever. And, the water was amazing. I don't think I've ever spent so much time in the water. There was one day it felt like the Caribbean. I mean, and every day it was nice every day. We were in there for hours at a time, which is just, a lot of fun. And we worked through, we even sort of rolled right through the challenges, like the broken dishwasher and the dog vomit. Just,
oh God,
nothing could shake us off of relaxing and so it was a good week. And before we move on, I have one update, a hedges warfare update. It's a good one. So if anybody that's been ever listened, the few of you who listen to more than a couple of these, there's the famous, next door. They've been bringing what is going to be a house along for over 2 years now. And they were leaning stuff against our hedges. It got the whole thing. I had to be somebody I don't like being, going over and, shaking my finger and get your stuff off our hedges. Anyhow, we put signs up and now they're over there. This was in between the foundation phase and now they're framing the house. And the signs seem to be working. Like there's a lot of stuff that they're throwing onto that side of the house. But there is a invisible barrier to the hedges there, and I think we got our message across, and yes. Fingers crossed on the hedges.
Use a very stern font when I made that keep off.
Thank you for making that. Yeah,
all
well
caps. Done. I was yelling at them. Yeah, and the house is they're building it. Like there's actually some foundation there now. The foundation and the ground floor.
Yeah, well, the framing. Yeah,
frame.
Yeah.
Okay, so what went well for me this week? Yeah, it was just like a beautiful vacation, beautiful weather, very relaxing. Great to spend time with the family, including my mom. We had my mom came halfway through the week, and then my brothers, my niece and nephew, my sister-in-law, they showed up. And even though we only had kind of like one day and night, it was just fun and lovely to be together in the Outer Banks because it's been my family place. Gosh, as long as I can remember, my parents brought us there from the time we were really young. So there's just all those wonderful memories to go back to. But yeah, and I enjoyed the week. I feel like we got to play tennis. I got to do yoga on the beach. I got to do a yoga strength class. We got some great walks in. and the ocean was amazing, and I like, my work is kind of just what's going on in my mind. So when I'm like a dog on a bone trying to work out an idea, but it was fine. Like, I didn't feel like it was too much or too little. And I just appreciate that fact that we can all do our own things at different times. Cause I just, like, sometimes I just need to be away working on something, and it was just cool. Like, everyone's different group dynamics, and the house was great. The drive was not bad, and everyone's healthy. So yeah, it was great. And also, I was very fortunate that while I was there, the NYU summer class that I teach, the first night I taught it virtually, and I had a really cool guest from The Ankler, which is a publication for the entertainment industry. It's a trade publication about the entertainment industry and its ancillary, tech and all the things that kind of interweave with it. And I got to have a really cool guest, Elaine Lowe, who hosts a series called what is it called? I don't remember, but she's great, and that was fun. And then my friend Andy Goldman at NYU, hosted my students the second night that I was away. And that was fun because my friend Rachel came, who was his student who introduced me to him. And it was kind of like a full circle moment. So yeah, just feeling very grateful. Just very grateful.
Cool.
A lot of good stuff. Yeah. Okay. So that's what went well. What could be better?
Well, what could have been better last week? I mean, we did miss the 21-year-old last week. So that stood out, just being on the beach and we all made the most of it. And the siblings all had their turn at making sure she knew how much fun everybody was having while she wasn't there. That being said, I mentioned the dishwasher. That was just, we rolled through it, but it was like not having a dishwasher on vacation. And that whole thing that was too bad. And just a tale of, we would have even planned things differently being there if they had communicated that they knew, and they did know this before we got there. So
yeah,
I'm handling that offline with them. And poor Charlie was, he has trouble in the car, and we found our vet has worked with us and given us some medication that really helps him. He stays fairly alert. He rests a lot. He doesn't throw up in the car for the 8 to 10 hour drive down there or home. That's amazing. But it's all about his anxiety. He's a very anxious dog. And it was stormy there every night. Like, it would be beautiful all day long. And then at night, it would be incredible lightning storms passing over. So, which is kind of cool, but not if you're an anxious dog. So he was vomiting multiple times a day. And then finally, Max gave us the tip of feeding him. We boiled chicken and mixed it up with white rice. And while we were doing that, the weather turned. So we got to the other side of it, but even the vomit couldn't keep us from enjoying vacation. And it was a lot of dog vomit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
everyone took their turn cleaning up the vomit, by the way. Everyone did.
I know. Like, I handled a lot of vomit and everybody else handled a lot of vomit. It was a lot of dog vomit.
Yeah.
But the other thing that really still is with me this week, like while we were on vacation, Glenn Hansard, the musician, died in a motorcycle accident. And I know he died in a motorcycle accident. I don't need to know anything more about those details. I don't know I don't know any of the details there, but I had seen him once live, and, everybody says this and everybody's saying it, like, you see him live, and he was just a really special human being and talent. He wasn't a pompous, celebrity or anything like that. Like, I saw him in New York, and he grabbed bandmates, and he started busking on the streets of Dublin, and he took them out onto the street outside the Beacon Theatre. And he was it was like a tribute to Levon Helm, I think, had just died from the band. And, just at the end of his concert. And then all these stories, it's all the stories about him, how he befriended people on the road, all these I just keep reading these amazing stories.
The Eddie Vedder connection. I appreciated learning that.
Yeah. somebody had killed themselves at one of his shows, and Eddie Vedder over 5 days kept calling Glenn, and they became friends and then ended up touring together. And then his Eddie Vedder's daughter, who, will tour with Eddie and has played with Glenn, wrote this amazing thing. And you read it and it's not like it's an artist talking to an artist, and a young woman talking to a friend. It's very real. It doesn't read like a LA or Hollywood kind of thing. I saw a video today, he was doing this song. Somebody in Germany was doing a video and a string breaks on his guitar, and and the guitar goes immediately out of tune, and you watch him like struggling through it, but he keeps going and he's kind of smiling and laughing while he's doing it. And it's just this vision. It's an artist struggling through making his art, and he gets it out there. And he finishes and he said, "I'll do it again if you like." But the director chose to share that, to put that out. And he chose to keep going and not stop and ask to start over. So anyhow, it's just, that was really sad. And he was a favorite of mine. And it was just really, really sad. I couldn't remember when I talked to you last week, but the movie that he starred in was The Commitments. He played a guitar player in the Commitments. And, so those were all the things that could have been better, over the last week from my side.
Yeah.
So what about yours?
I would say this is kind of it's a simple thing, but like the salads, like I miss my salads. Like I like to eat salad. I genuinely enjoy it. And it's kind of like, it's just kind of a healthy, you're eating the leafy greens that kind of keep your body just all in balance and cleaned out. And so not having salads is like pretty rough, I have to say. And when I was taking a yoga class, at the owner of the yoga class or the studio there in Kerala, her name is Sarah, and she makes juices. And she was saying how like she has been noticing like weird stuff with the supply chain of the different produce that she uses to make juices. So she's putting her juice making on pause because she doesn't want to be like responsible for. Like one example was that she would always use beets. Like beets are a big thing in juices and stuff. And somehow she like spilled the beets and it stains things. It stains things, and she spilled it and it like didn't stain anything. And she's just like, why? Like that's kind of creepy and weird. So yeah, I do. I miss my salads, and just in general, I overindulged on vacation, as I tend to do. And I really just look forward to getting back on track, or I am getting back on track, but it's hard without my salads.
Yeah. That is tough. And you realize how lettuce, like ordering things, it's like, oh, no lettuce on that, no lettuce. Like it's a big part of it. It does a lot of work in our diets. So, yeah.
Okay. So what did you learn this week, honey?
So I have a fun one. You might have already known this, but all these years driving past the town or seeing the signs and driving past on the Outer Banks, the town called Kill Devil's Hill. And I've always wondered, what is that? Like, what's that name mean? And finally I looked it up. Do you know what it means? Do you know where it comes from? So it was, back in the day, it was local rum that washed ashore from shipwrecks that was supposedly strong enough to kill the devil. And so that's the Kill Devil's Hill is named after the rum. Yeah. It's named after rum.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
It's Kill Devil Hills is the name of the town.
Kill Devil Hill. Okay.
So is there actually a Kill Devil's Hill?
Let's see. Kill Devil Hills. I don't know. I said it wrong. It is Kill Devil Hills. I was saying Kill Devil's Hill. It's Kill Devil Hills. And that is the place where a lot of the stuff would wash up, I guess. Yeah. But it's named after that rum. That's
so funny. Especially because we watched, what did we watch? Pirates of the Caribbean?
Right. The
other night?
That's right. How about yourself? What did you learn?
So for my research for Rutgers and also my compassionate mind training course that I'm teaching, I'm reading a lot of academic research about neuroscience and how people can change their minds, like literally change their minds. And I love merging what I know about Buddhism and mindfulness philosophy, but also with like contemporary modern neuroscience. So one aspect that I'm always very interested in learning about is autism. A lot of my students live with autism, and it's just an area where, you know, as a neurodivergent person myself, you could put any label on any person, but I identify with people whose brains work a little differently, or minds, or whatever. So Sasha Baron Cohen's cousin, this is so fascinating. So I have found this researcher, and I've been watching his videos and reading his stuff. And he always had this like ring of familiarity to me. I was just like, he's very soft spoken, but he had this like familiarity. And then I was like, Baron-Cohen, like, I don't know how common that last name is. I gotta see if he's related. And he is related to Sacha Baron Cohen. He's his cousin. And he's got a new book out, and it's called The Pattern Seekers: How Autism Drives Human Invention. And it's so absolutely fascinating. Now, I haven't read the book yet, and I want to read the book, but he looks at like all of this research about hormones and testosterone and men and women. And I can't do it justice and articulate it right now, but it is fascinating stuff. But if you want to just take it from the most basic level, you got to look up Sacha Baron Cohen's cousin. And he's like this brilliant scientist. And I don't know, for some reason that cracks me up.
I wish I had a little audio that was like, boom, shakala, the Ali G thing, but I don't. So yeah,
yes.
Maybe Ali G wrote the foreword. Who knows? Maybe that's probably not. But
so anyway, thank you. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, we did it.
We did.
All right. Well, big episode next week, 50.
Wow, that's so fun. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool. Exciting. All right.
Talk to you then.